Have you ever wanted to know how fortification coverage varies with a population's vulnerability characteristics? By vulnerability, this could mean demographics, such as gender or age, since certain populations have higher micronutrient needs than others, geographics, such as urban or rural settings, or socioeconomic, such as household income or parental education. Although the GFDX uses the term vulnerability, it does not label one population as more vulnerable than another, since vulnerability is not always obvious and it can differ by context. For example, in some areas, a rural farming population may actually have better dietary adequacy than an urban slum population if there's greater access to a diverse diet. But what's important is knowing that data has been disaggregated based on a country's most relevant characteristics, so that it's possible to identify how fortification coverage differs across populations and try to fill fortification gaps. These are examples of vulnerability characteristics that we've seen fortification coverage disaggregated by. Countries should report on the characteristics that are the most appropriate for their populations. A new GFDX visualization now identifies which countries have disaggregated information on fortification coverage. At this time, the visualization doesn't pull out the data itself, but identifies whether the country has disaggregated data within the original report. We can see here for Brazil the national fortification coverage estimate, the vulnerability characteristics that the data have been disaggregated by, and the original citation for the data. The data table lists the countries that have disaggregated data. To download the data, don't forget to hover near the right-hand corner of the data table and click More Options. Use the usual filters on the right to select income status, region, legislation status, food vehicle, or year of interest. As the legend describes, the green countries have coverage data disaggregated by vulnerability characteristics. The gray countries have coverage data, but no disaggregation was reported. It's important to point out that vulnerability characteristics are not consistently reported across countries. For example, socioeconomic data may be reported as wealth quintiles, wealth bottoms, and wealth tops. Other countries may only disaggregate by gender, while other countries are as detailed as disaggregating by parental education. In the future, the GFDX hopes to update this visualization to pull out the data points. But until then, we hope this visualization will be a helpful starting point to identifying which countries have coverage data by vulnerability characteristics of interest and help researchers also harmonize how they report vulnerability characteristics in fortification reporting. You can find this visualization and more at fortificationdata.org.